What's up, everybody? We are back with another review show this week. We're going to be reviewing Survivor Series 1996.
Whose dumb idea was it go?
It
was
was me.
To go back to
It was me, Austin. I decided to change it up. We barely done any actual wrestling shows this year in the reviews, so we barely done any. Plus, now that I have access to WWE Network again, I was like, I want to watch something on there. Let me make it count.
Did you buy it again?
No, Bill gave it to me.
Oh, okay.
Really not.
Gotta cancel it.
Until he cancels it, I got to make good use out of it. So let's put it to good use and watch Survivor Series 1996, because Survivor Series is coming up soon, I think. I don't know when it is.
November-ish.
Around Thanksgiving, right?
Somewhere around now.
Yeah.
So, but I failed to mention this episode of the show is presented by Karate Fighters. They're back. They're making toys again, and they're presenting this show.
Were those toys or a video game?
Toys.
No.
They were like the Rock'em Sock'em robots,
Hmm.
but they did karate against each other.
I did not have that.
No, because it was a lame toy and no one had it. Who wanted that?
November 22nd for Survivor Series.
For the 2020 Survivor Series.
Yep.
We teased it on the last episode. Your commentary team for this pay-per-view is Vincent Kennedy McMahon with JR, a heel JR.
Mostly annoying JR.
A very annoying JR, and Jerry the King Lawler, who was, for the first time ever, on an announced team where he wasn't the most annoying guy. And was maybe the best guy, mostly because he didn't show back up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your first match was Bulldog and Owen Hart teamed with the New Rockers.
Leave Cassidy.
Yes, Leave Cassidy. You
Was
were
confused.
shocked.
It confused me. Because so what happened was when they said the New Rockers, Marty came out. And then I was like, oh, I didn't even realize Al Snow was part of the New Rockers. And then they announced Leave Cassidy. And I thought, wait, who is Leave Cassidy? And it took me a little while to figure out what's going on.
That was Al Snow.
Yeah.
First, the New Rockers with high-flying, awesome wrestler Al Snow.
Yes.
Oh, boy. They are facing...
In DX gear, if you noticed.
Yeah, kind of, right? With the neon.
And it was sort of an X on it, too.
Yeah. The Godwin, they're facing the Godwins, and a new tag team they signed
From All Japan.
Furnace and LaFon from All Japan.
The
and
Can-Am
ECW.
Express.
Yes.
The Can-Am Express.
Didn't know these two. They were definitely the best part of this.
Oh, yeah. You know who Doug Furnace is considered one of the strongest wrestlers ever, and is like a legendary bodybuilder, the one with the mustache.
Yeah.
They had a match of the year, Observer match of the year in '92 in All Japan. Tag team match of the year against Kobashi and this other guy.
Yeah, I was wondering if this is a Cornette move, because this does not seem like a Vince McMahon move. This has got to be a Cornette. Let's get some workers in here kind of move. The match is a little weird at the beginning because the fans are yelling at Bulldog and Owen, and they're really aggressive toward the fans.
Yes.
And there's some ECW stuff going on during this whole show. And
Owen's got his slammies.
Right.
Yeah.
There's something weird going on here because they work really weird with Furnace and LaFon later, and they're yelling at the fans. They act very funny, Bulldog and Owen, during this match, but it's revealed that JR is a heel. Good old JR as a heel never was good. Never was good. I think this is his real personality, though. After listening to his podcast for so long, some of the things that he said, I'm like, I think this is actually what he thinks. Some of this stuff, but
yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, so we talked about New Rockers, Marty Jannetty. He is weird in this match too. Does he think he's a bad guy, or is the character? Because he's trying to get the crowd pumped up at times. He's like, yeah, come on. Oh, and he like waves him off. Like, is that the character or he's a guy who thinks he's a babyface but is a heel because he thinks he's a babyface?
He thinks he's a tweener.
Is that deep? Is it that deep, or is he just doing rocker shit trying to get over?
He thinks he's a rocker again, so he's automatically over.
I'm a rocker, guys. Come on. Why aren't you cheering me? He's not wearing knee pads, which looks really weird. And then he gets injured very quickly, which you said while he was what? A broken foot? Oh, we lost you.
Oh, boy.
Lost who?
Wally.
Oh.
Can't hear you.
Try talking? Stunning video. Why is he just looking at his headphones?
I don't know. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I can hear you guys.
Okay, there we go.
It's a broken bone in his foot and a sprained ankle.
Yeah.
Bad combo.
So that is his terrible looking wrestling makes a lot of sense here.
And he's in with both Godwins, who's like no idea what to do with an injured person.
Yeah, so they just slop drop him and he's out.
You mean what's his name? Who's the Gideon?
Phineas?
Phineas is
Or Henry?
Which one turns into Gideon?
Phineas turns into Midian.
Gideon. Sorry.
Gideon. Who turns into the Gideon Putnam? Henry O'Godwin gets knocked out by maybe the best spinning heel kick ever. Owen Hart just annihilates him with a spinning heel kick.
Immediately after the slap drop.
And he's out. Owen Hart is fantastic. This is like the best wrestling version of Owen Hart. He's in great shape.
Yeah.
He's just awesome in this match.
You forget that there's never really been a good Survivor Series match.
No.
Has there ever been one really good
They're
one?
Gimmicks to set up other matches. That's what they do.
And they always are just like, everything's happening so quick. People get pinned so quick after
people get eliminated. Where normally in wrestling matches, it takes 20 false finishes to get rid of somebody. In this, Owen Hart uses his 8th most effective move, a spinning heel kick, to eliminate Henry Godwin.
I'm watching it right now. He nails him.
Crushes him in the face.
Yeah, he sure does.
He absolutely nails him.
As a kid, I loved Survivor Series matches.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So I don't remember. So I remember a lot of them very fondly. But as I look back, like the one where Owen turns like ugly because he's the only one that gets eliminated.
Yeah.
In my memory, that was a phenomenal match. Then we went back and watched it, and it was fine. It was just a good storyline setup.
It's just set up to get to the next thing.
And like I remember loving Shawn Michaels and his Knights or whatever. And then we watched that, and it wasn't great.
There's something about like the cartoon character part of wrestling where as many cartoon characters as you can shove onto your playmat at once is cool if you're a kid, but doesn't make a lot of sense in like any other wrestling.
Yeah. This eventually just becomes Bulldogs versus Can-Am Express.
Right. Henry O'Godwin gets knocked out by the heel kick. Phineas Godwin gets knocked out by a running power slam. That's the difference between a power slam and a running power slam. Right there, Bulldog. And then it's time for Furnace and LaFon to shine. And the very first thing that happens is Furnace goes for a drop kick, and Davey Boy Smith just doesn't
runs
stop.
Through it, yeah.
Just runs right past him. And Furnace falls. That's what made me think that they're not happy about working with these guys.
Maybe not. Maybe this
either
is
that
like
or he's an idiot.
Hazing. Oh no, I just watched it. He ran right through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
doesn't take it.
He like ducks to get out of the way of it.
Yeah.
It's bad. And that's the very first thing that Furnace does.
Yeah. And Furnace had a legendary drop kick.
Which they do talk about before he does it, and then the whiff. LaFon comes in. Owen hits Furnace with another like devastating kick to the face with a drop kick out of nowhere. LaFon comes in. He's a much better wrestler than Furnace is. He hits a few what-a maneuvers and knocks out Al Snow.
I did realize that he straight up does not know what the maneuvers are, so that's why he says that.
That's what it is.
And
that's exactly what it is.
Like in the same sentence.
Yep. Vince,
what a maneuver, that was a what a maneuver. Like,
if he can't figure out what it is, which these All Japan guys are coming in and doing moves that no one's ever seen.
Yeah.
The point of it, I guess. So there's a lot of what a maneuvers here. I'm guessing no one counted. No one kept count of all the what a maneuvers, but there was a lot. So many.
A lot.
Bulldog just straight up kicks LaFon right in the dick in front of the ref, and the ref doesn't do anything. Which later on, JR says like, "Oh, the officiating's been crap all night."
Well, they keep talking. I didn't realize this. How there's 2 refs there, so
Right.
even if stuff's going on the outside, there's a ref specifically there to watch for
But
it.
wasn't
one
the
of them
other?
is Harvey Whippleman.
I think Harvey was like in the. I think they were trying to make it seem. I think he was in the bag for Owen and Davey
Oh, was he?
at one point. I think he was like part of their managers. Like they had like 8 managers at one point. They had Cornette, the dude who was in later on in the Nation of Domination, the lawyer guy, and this guy. I think they were all their managers at one point. But LaFon's down. Did anyone else laugh at Furnace trying to get the crowd riled up on the apron, clapping terribly? Awful. It's like we don't have to do this in All Japan. How do I clap to get the fans into this? You can't do it. Sharpshooter put on by Owen Hart. Furnace interrupts. LaFon hits a spin kick of his own, and Furnace gets a hot tag, and basically they just win it. And they're going to get a match later against Bulldog and Owen. This is a setup.
What's it called? Leave Cassidy a nasty.
Move off
the top rope.
Earlier in the that's the what a maneuver.
Yeah.
That was what a maneuver.
That's the what a maneuver.
He's like, I don't even know what to call that.
What a maneuver! So they win, setting up a match that they will eventually lose, and then they eventually get in a car accident, and then they eventually don't do anything.
Is that what happened? That's sad. Because I was gonna say these guys look good, and it made me actually excited for whatever this feud is.
Nope.
But that's a bummer.
Oh yeah, they were like
a cup of coffee
premier tag team outside of WWE.
They went back to ECW very quickly after this. Kevin Kelly in the back interviews Paul Bearer and Mankind, which is mostly uneventful except for Paul Bearer's "I'm Paul Bearer and you're not."
Yeah,
reminded me of the Undertaker gimmick episode we did a long time ago where I did like 15 Paul Bearer impressions. Right. And I think that was in there. I think this is one of his catchphrases for some reason. Paul Bearer was just buried, Undertaker was just buried alive at the last pay-per-view. So who knows what might happen this time. Yeah. He's going to be different,
a new
guys.
Undertaker.
He'll be a new Undertaker.
And I was surprised. Like this was the start of like towards the ministry, maybe.
Yeah.
Or like the newer Taker.
Pretty much, right? Yeah. This is weird. This is the second match on the show. That was weird to me.
Yeah.
Like this should have been a way bigger deal, I would think. But Undertaker, new character Undertaker gets lowered. Batman Undertaker gets lowered from the ceiling with bat wings. It's a lot lamer than I remember.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was so much cooler.
It was super lame, and like
it was cool in '96 probably.
And his attire looks awful.
I was gonna say that later on. He looks like a goddamn pirate.
Yeah,
he has like the shirt open with the strings.
It looks awful. Like it
looks
like
an undead pirate.
A cool, sexy undead pirate who's been to prison and rides a motorcycle.
It looks like
may or may not still run a graveyard.
It looks like something you get at like a Halloween store.
Yeah,
that's probably where they got it.
It's hot spandex, shiny spandex with an open shirt. So the match is Undertaker versus Mankind. Paul Bearer is lifted above the ring in a shark cage.
Oh yeah.
And
why?
Don't know. So if Undertaker wins, he gets alone time with Paul Bearer. Who will then be lowered back down. And the whole time, Paul Bearer and Mankind come out. He's like, "I'm not getting that thing. No way." You're not putting me in that. And then Undertaker,
It's
Batman, it's dropped from the ceiling. He's like, okay, I'll lock myself in. He goes right in, locks himself in, and gets hoisted right up, which I thought was great.
I do like to
Yeah.
turn the camera on him the whole time too, so you can hear him going, "Oh, Undertaker!"
The Paul Bear cam is my favorite. I wish there was an uncut, just like an uncut film of just the feed of Paul Bear. JR is like, this is not going to be catch as catch can, but it's kind of more catch as catch can than ever Undertaker has done before. He does more wrestling than he ever has.
This is like the start of also his like he does an armbar, like his UFC influence.
Mm-hmm.
He does moves, so it's more catch as catch can than we've.
He's doing an armbar right now and like yanking back the fingers.
Yeah. So Taker tries to injure the mandible claw hand.
No, right, you're gonna beat me.
Really?
Sorry. Yeah.
What happened?
The Giants are winning, and Gronkowski hasn't touched the football.
Well, there's still plenty
How
of time.
are the
What is it, like
Giants
the first quarter?
It's about halftime.
Anyway, mandible claw on Undertaker, but he just throws Mankind out of the ring. Goozle. I love that Goozle. Goozle's a part of it.
He said Goozle like 6 times.
I goozles him! So I goozle him, but he mandible claw, then choke slam. So seems like the mandible claw is not working for Mankind in this match. Mankind,
because his fingers are hurt.
Well, that's some real pro wrestling logic right there. Yeah. There's a weapon that Paul Bear drops from the shark cage. It's like a bone-looking thing.
Yeah.
But he drops it, and then like 10 minutes later, Mankind picks it up. Am I wrong about that? No. I see it on the mat. There's one part where it's on the mat, and he doesn't have it. And then he picks it up and tries to use it. But it doesn't work out because Undertaker just hits a tombstone, and it's a 1-2-3 clean all finish. And that's it.
Came out of nowhere. And
it was a quick match.
He grabs them off the top rope.
So yeah,
the executioner though.
So Paul Bear, now Undertaker gets his sexy time with Paul Bear. The shark cage gets lowered, but
the original live sex show.
Ruined by the executioner, who was played by Terry Gordy.
Can we talk about fucking Mick Foley, Mankind
being awesome,
taking the hardest bumps ever? Like,
yeah, he gets slammed into a barricade at one point.
And it's not like he doesn't need to take these harder bumps, but he does.
He took
Go ahead.
He took some crazy bumps that aren't like
needed.
Definitely not needed, but that were weird in matches with barricades where he would get fucking annihilated by a barricade and no one remembers them.
Yeah, because he throws himself into them.
Yeah. With
he also loved to do the nasty plunge onto the cement floor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Off the apron.
Yes.
Right. Miss an elbow and just crack his back on the floor.
Yes. Like he did that like 3 times in this match.
Yeah. Well, he's great. He's great. A perfect example of getting some piece of shit gimmick over like crazy. Like the worst gimmick. If you on paper, Mankind is so stupid. only Mick Foley could pull it off.
Yeah.
WWF
was he supposed to be Mick the Mutilator or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. And apparently one of the ways they trick you into doing gimmicks is they have these guys draw up like an actual awesome gimmick, and you're like, oh, okay, well that doesn't look so bad. I mean, it sounds stupid when you say it, but that picture's great. And then by the time you actually get to the point where you get a mask or something, it's awful.
Oh, and we also I always forget about Mankind squealing.
Yes, yeah. And we saw that a bunch of shows ago where he was in, what was it, FMW or something against Funk?
Yes.
He did that episode where it was just their matches in FMW, I think, and he was squealing then too.
Yes.
A WWF on AOL with Furnace and LaFon. I'm sure those guys are real crack ups on the AOL chats, ASL. Ernest and LaFawn. Doc Hendricks in the back has an interview segment with the upcoming Survivor Series people on the bad team. It's HHH, Goldust, Jerry Lawler, and Crush. And this is the four worst fucking promos in a row ever.
Yeah.
Absolute garbage.
Man,
Absolute crap.
This
Crush was terrible.
something.
Crush sucks.
My God.
Jerry Lawler's terrible. Goldust just says his one line. It's like, I'm not involved in this. I'm just gonna do the I'm Goldust. So bad. Some of the worst promos ever. They're gonna fight a very wacky team of Mark Marrow, newly signed, I believe. The Stalker. I'm like, holy fuck, that's Barry Wyndham.
With the dirtiest stash there's ever been.
If they didn't say Barry Wyndham, I would have not ever known.
Really? Yeah.
No.
They
It's that
call him
mustache, that
Barry
mustache.
Wyndham the whole time. They're not like the Stalker with a slam. They're like, Barry's out there doing his best.
Well, they have
Barry's
to
a
talk about
WCW champion.
how Barry was also his granddad was Blackjack.
Right.
His dad was
Okay,
Blackjack.
Yeah, they refer to him as a real person, but he's the Stalker.
But that's
He's
what I
wearing
was,
fatigues. That makes him a stalker.
I was shocked. Of course, we get the Blue Chipper, The Rock, Rocky Maivia coming out. Looking good. And then a surprise fourth member, an alcoholic, almost dead, Jake the Snake.
Oof. Jake looks bad.
Rough, Jake the Snake. 96 Jake the Snake is rough.
He comes out
Uh,
with
to
the
watch.
snake.
Yep, of
Throws
course
it
he
in the
does.
ring.
Of course he does. Sonny is on commentary. Wally, I give you the floor.
She was not fun to listen to.
I think she's actually really good.
I thought
She's
she was
trying to
good.
be hated.
No,
Yes.
yes, was she?
She was
She
very
pulled
hateable.
off. She was
Right.
very hateable. Yes.
I thought she did
It was
good. I
just
thought
tough
she
to
was
listen
good.
to.
I thought she played well against JR.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
thought
Like she
they were
did a
just
good job
weird.
doing her thing. It was just like her voice. I just couldn't listen to it.
He did not
anymore.
stop talking. You're right. She
Yes.
just did not stop.
Stalker. What a mustache.
The Stalker. There's
What?
one funny Sunny line where she sees Sable
Yes.
in Mark Merrill's corner. She's like, she looks dead inside.
Yes.
Look at those eyes.
I didn't hear that.
Because Sable's awful as a character. Like, yes, Sable was great for many reasons. But horrible as an actual like wrestling character who talked.
She was not a great talker.
No, so
What
that made me
team
laugh.
This is with the son of Rocky Johnson and High Chief Peter Maivia, the son of Blackjack Mulligan, and the son of Dusty Rhodes. All in this match. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the son of Vince McMahon in the match as well, or the son of God. I'm sorry,
The
son of God. HHH.
And Jake, and then fucking Lawler, man.
Yeah, Rock is impressive. Rock is very impressive, and Sonny wants to manage him or sex him. We're not sure.
Yes.
Both.
Why not both?
Fun little moment where Hunter Hearst Helmsley and The Rock square off for the first time, and they will square off many more times.
It's crazy how this was his first match.
Yeah.
Yep.
They went on to have so many matches.
A million matches against each other.
They called him Dwayne Johnson a couple times too.
Yeah, they do.
They do, yeah.
Sonny makes fun of Vince McMahon for having a toupee.
Yes.
Because of the Burger King chants. It's like, well, if somebody said Vince had a toupee, then you'd be upset too. King talking shit about Jake being alcoholic in the match.
Yes. Do the teetotaling.
And Jake wins with the DDT. He puts Jerry Lawler out. And the DDT is still over. I don't think Jake is, but the DDT is still very over. Another fun face-off, Wyndham and Goldust, two guys who were top baby faces in WCW. One of them was a champion. Now weirdo, dumbass gimmicks in WWF.
Stalker and Goldust.
Curtain call, Wyndham. You're out of there. Mark Marrow has fighting spirit and maybe the best rat tail mullet that's ever been. He does a nice looking head scissors. A lot of people make fun of him for being a bad wrestler, but it's a nice looking head scissors, and he hits a marrow salt and knocks Triple H out.
I always thought Marrow was a perfectly good
He's
wrestler.
better than people think, I think.
Yeah.
People like to make fun of him, but he's actually...
Well, he had that terrible gimmick in WCW, too.
Which people loved.
With his Little Richard?
The Little Richard gimmick. People love that. Johnny B. Bad.
Johnny B.
Oh,
Bad.
and
people love Johnny B. Bad. Yeah.
Because he was essentially in blackface for his career in WCW.
Was he? Is that what it was?
He was
kind
very
of
tan.
I think he might have just been tan, but he was really tan.
It was.
Never thought of it that way. Marrow takes a horrible fall to the outside on a dive attempt, crushes to the ground.
Because what's his name? Goldust just pushed out. What's his name out of the way, right?
Yeah, and he falls, and then he eventually gets eliminated. Crush hits a heart punch on Jake, and that scared me. Like, that man's heart is probably not in good shape at this point. Don't do the heart punch. So it's Rock by himself. He has to face Crush and Goldust alone. But it's not that big of a problem because Crush heart punches Goldust and gets himself eliminated. And then Goldust gets shoulder breakered, which is the worst fucking move ever.
Oh, that's right.
Sucks.
I remember. So that was his first finisher move.
His
and
first
I remember,
finisher. The Rock's first finisher
was
a shoulder breaker. What a piece of shit move.
So the Rock exploded, and he started doing the Rock bottom. But a game came out. I forget what game it was. Maybe
Warzone?
Warzone or Raw, and his finisher was still the shoulder
breaker.
Because the game was still mostly done.
Yeah, yep. And I was just like, I remember hating that. And
it's got to be Warzone because that came out. That was the first like next gen wrestling game, and
it must have been. It must.
Yeah,
have.
He was in there as like New Nation Rock, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're right. And he did the shoulder, and I hated it. I hated it.
I can't use the Rock. What the hell?
Yeah, no, you can't use.
Well, that was like in Royal Rumble when Shawn Michaels' finishing move was the back suplex.
That's right. That's right.
The hell?
That's right.
So that was that. I don't think this is. They always talk about the Die Rocky Die chance. I don't think he was getting Die Rocky Die chance during this.
No.
It's got to be the next thing or whatever.
No, people seemed excited for him in this match.
Right.
Yeah. Why were people chanting Die
They
Rocky?
hated him so much that they chanted Die Rocky Die, and that's why he had to turn heel, supposedly.
That was the fans' chant though, was Die Rocky Die.
And I wonder if they knew of the lineage with Rocky Johnson and all that stuff.
You would assume Madison Square Garden would know.
You'd think, because those people at MSG,
they'd seen his lineage. But Bret Hart versus Stone Cold, the first one, which I guess not a lot of people knew about. Billy, you didn't even know they had a first one.
I had forgotten. I mean, it makes sense that was not their first time they met, but when you said Survivor Series and these guys, I just assumed that it was their other match.
So Bret, the storyline is Bret's been out for 5 months. Stone Cold's been moving up the card and decided to talk shit about Bret the whole time. No matter what feud he's in, he makes fun of Bret, and he goes on all the different like stupid WWF shows like Live Wire and all those other ones, like those weird call-in shows, and just makes fun of Bret. And one particular I wrote down that I loved was, if you put S in front of Hitman, you'll get my opinion of him. That's what Austin
That was a
said
great
about
one. That was a great one.
Among many other things. Austin comes out, he's already cheered. Like this, I talked about it last time when we were talking about the show, but the changing of the history by WWE. He was a heel until he walked into WrestleMania, and then it was a double turn. No, he was cheered a lot when he walked out. Bret wants respect from Austin.
He's already done King of the Ring at this point, right?
Yeah, he's already won King of the Ring. That was a while ago. That was in June.
Yeah.
So this is in November. JR says Austin ain't no clown and he ain't no trash man. So making fun of their own product, which 2 seconds ago they put the stalker out there. So calm down. Don't throw stones. These guys are real wrestlers. That's another thing JR says. And it's how much ring rust does Bret Hart have versus Dangerous Tekker, Steve Austin, who's good at actually wrestling, which is interesting because before the neck injury, you see actually how good of a wrestler he actually was. And post neck injury, he's a brawler who does the stunner.
Yeah.
That's about it. No knee braces. He moves really well. Yeah. And these guys just have a really good match. Bret gets stun gunned on the top rope, which is a cool move that Austin almost never did after 96-7.
He did it in WCW when he was Hollywood Blonde.
Yeah.
That was his finisher as a Hollywood Blonde.
They're working stiff. Bret runs into all the turnbuckles chest first and falls down.
Nothing more Bret loves doing this.
Love it. So good.
Number one fetish.
Austin gets slammed into the railing, and the whole railing falls over, which is a funny thing. And then a hilarious moment where Bret gets slammed on the announce table and rolls into Hugo Savinovich, and he dies. He makes the funniest face, which I can't find anywhere. I tried for a while trying to find Hugo Savinovich's face. Could not find it. It's very silly. And then JR's like, why does this only happen to Spanish guys?
Yes.
Calls attention to it.
On the Spanish table.
Austin needs to beat Bret Hart to solidify that he's the top guy. And that's why he's called him out. There's a part where there's a rope break, and Austin, referee Tim White, who's a funny character if you look at his lineage, he tries to break this thing up, and Austin turns him, flips him off, and goes, fuck you, right into the camera. Unbelieved.
Good stuff.
On a kid show. They get a slug fight going. Bret does a stun gun of his own. JR needs to be cold showered because he's all fired up. Austin crotches Bret, does a superplex. And a very rare thing happens where Austin hits Bret with a stunner and Bret kicks out, which you almost never see happen after this. Almost never. Austin attempts a submission of his own, Texas Cloverleaf, of course.
When Austin hit that stunner, wasn't it he pulled him back into the middle of the ring?
Yeah, that's what they say. They claim that he took too long to make the cover, but still a very rare occurrence to see someone get stunnered and kick out. There's an interesting thing where Bret ran into the post where he instead of taking that turnbuckle shot, he slides underneath and then hits his knee and his back on the turnbuckle, which that was pretty sweet. You don't really see that too often.
It almost looked like I don't remember who does it, but they'll slide out of the ring, grab the post, and slide back in. And it looked like he was good.
Baron Corbin, your guy.
He looked like he was trying to do that and just didn't.
There you go. Some love for Baron Corbin. Austin works over the back. Bret goes for a sharpshooter, but it doesn't happen. Austin goes for the $1 Million Dream, which was his finisher as ringmaster.
Right.
And Bret uses the top turnbuckle to push off and roll up Austin for the win. And now he has a shot at the title at the next pay-per-view. And then Austin is like pissed off that he let himself lose, basically, by not letting go of the $1 Million Dream. So I thought this was a really good match.
It was great.
I don't know if this is better than the second one is so popular as like a match. But this is a really good match. I don't know.
It is.
I have to watch them back to back to see which one is better. But this is
when did the second one happen?
WrestleMania the next year. So a few months later. I'm pretty sure Austin has a lot to do with Bret not winning the title for the next couple of months. And that's what causes the match at WrestleMania. And also Shawn Michaels issues, because Shawn Michaels has some problems.
Because Shawn is Shawn.
Shawn being Shawn. Doc's in the back with Sid, and every Sid promo is the same. You yell at the top, get real quiet and whisper in the middle, and then you flip out at the end.
It is almost like he's trying to do a dumb man's version of Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
You just can't really do it.
Captain.
Man, dumb guy, though.
Sid is more over in this show than I ever thought he would be, though.
Sid was huge.
He was
I
so
didn't realize
over.
that he had the belt in both brands either.
Yeah.
He had the belt.
Like
Luau,
Sid is like a prototype of what like a champion looks like.
a
Yes.
WWF champion,
WWF, WCW, just like a monster, huge dude.
but they never realized how bad he was at actually wrestling.
And he was a decent.
He was
wrestler.
okay. Yeah,
He was
okay.
like he was better than a Nash, but not better than a Hall.
Right.
You know,
Somewhere between a Nash and a Hall.
somewhere between a Nash and a Hall.
That's about right.
You know,
I think that's true. Captain Lou Albano comes out. He was just inducted the Hall of Fame, which used to be before Survivor Series. Who knew? The Nation Rappers. Remember these guys?
Nope.
The two Nation Rappers come
two
out.
white dudes.
Two white rappers with the NOD hats, which made me think we need to get NOC hats.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Would you wear a crappy flat brim NOC hat? You wouldn't.
I absolutely would.
Tell us if you would. Fake bad guy. Fake Razor Ramon.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Jesus.
Let me
Yes.
So I don't even want to say this, but when he first came out, my initial thought was, that's odd. I don't remember young Scott Hall looking so different.
Yo, what
Yes.
you do?
No, that was exactly what I thought.
Just briefly,
Like
but
an
for
instant.
a minute, I was like, I don't remember him looking that much different when he was young.
The crowd is completely dumbfounded. The crowd is just is this their first?
No, I think they'd been around a little
They've
bit.
been around, right?
They were ready for it. Like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah, he came out and I looked at him like, that doesn't look like Hall. What's going on? And I had to look it up.
Well, because then they immediately go into, he's got just as
He's just as good as the other guy.
Why can't he use that same name? He's got a right to it.
They said that? I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
They actually acknowledge it?
They did say that.
JR was saying
Heel
that.
JR, who's in the bag for these guys. I loved when fake Razor Ramon got pyro.
Yes.
That was hilarious.
He tried to do the.
Yeah.
He tried
He's
to do
not
anything.
muscular, though. He's not muscular like Scott Hall is. But he gets pyro. Fake Diesel, even better. Fake Diesel comes out. Fake Diesel's a much better wrestler, though, because it's Kane.
Yep.
And Fake
Oh,
Razor
that's right.
was nobody. So Fake Diesel, played by Kane, or the dentist there, Isaac Yankum. Kids in the audience are like, no, this is
Because
garbage.
he even does like they're doing the same mannerisms even.
Yep.
Because there was that hilarious. We forget Cornette is such a piece of crap now, but he had that fucking hilarious shoot interview that he did about Fake Diesel and Razor. You remember this? Where he's like, Vince was like, we need to use a Diesel character, and it's like, all right, well, let me go over the tape and see what Nash does for his moves. And he's like, I got to about 3 with the hair flip. That's about it. Knee in the corner, jackknife, hair flip. That's all he does. Any old jackass can do that shit. So good. Got about 3 moves with a hair flip. Hilarious. I miss being able to like Jim Cornette, but
so accurate.
Yeah, it was shockingly accurate because he's terrible. Vader randomly comes out.
Vader's part of this too.
Afterthought Vader comes out after his Boy Meets World match. He's involved in this.
So I read that Vader was originally supposed to be in the main event instead of Sid.
Oh,
but
really?
They pulled him. Yeah, but they pulled him because Sid was getting bigger and Shawn didn't want to fight against Vader.
Well, Shawn had already faced Vader at SummerSlam '96 too. So this match is very bizarre. Those guys are facing the team of Savio Vega,
who I loved. I loved Savio Vega.
I was gonna say he's good.
He was in the ring before they announced it. Like they didn't announce.
We don't give a shit about Savio Vega.
Loved Savio.
Savio Vega, Yokozuna, which was shocking to me. Like, holy shit, he's still around. And the debuting Flash Funk.
Is
called Scorpio.
Okay, thought so.
With the Funkettes.
the Funkats, which is funny because they did that whole gimmick all over again with Funkasaur and Funkadactyl, which is hilarious.
That's what they were called. I couldn't remember what Funkadactyl.
And a surprise entrant, Jimmy the Murderer Superfly Snuka. Oh my God!
He was just inducted.
Yes, he was also just inducted.
And I, as a kid, loved Jimmy Snuka, so it's sad now to go back and like, can't like him even a little anymore.
And he's bad in this match. He
looked real bad.
Except for that one, I was impressed when he picked the one dude up, but
barely. But yes, he did get him up. Flash Funk when he comes out,
the man flipped himself. That's what happened. The man flipped himself.
JR makes a shot at HH Hulk Hogan. And he goes, "Red and yellow never looked as good in the never looked this good in MSG." Taking a shot at Hulk Hogan. Vince McMahon commentary. We talked about one a maneuver, but also he does this a lot. The fake Vince laugh, pal. And when Flash Funk comes out, he doesn't know what to say or do. So he's like, "Oh yeah," he just keeps saying, "Oh yeah, whoa, look at this guy dance." It's very silly. And to take a pause, talk about how piece of shit WWE Network itself is, because I could not shut off closed captioning. One of you guys put closed captioning on or something.
I did.
I could not shut it off. I tried.
What were you watching?
The whole match on PlayStation.
I
was watching on PlayStation. I could not turn the shit off.
I like to
watch stuff now in closed captioning.
It's so far behind, though.
It is.
Yes.
It's criminally behind.
You have to go down like you want to like move to the next match or whatever. But
I did. I went to the thing and it said audio and all that, and I couldn't get it to work. And also like the having to skip from match to match is a brutal on PlayStation 4.
The
doesn't work.
The controls, since they dumped the other company or whatever,
sucks.
Unusable sometimes.
Yeah. That's how I felt.
I was having trouble because I had it on my computer but hooked up through the HDMI onto my TV. I actually had to unhook the HDMI and then hook it back in before I could actually use the bottom part to turn the sound and stuff on.
It's not good. Whatever they did is not good.
There's been times where if NXT doesn't have their matches at the bottom yet or whatever, I will watch it, like shut it off or pause it or whatever and walk away and go back to watch like the last match.
Yeah.
And it will get rid of where I was watching it, and I will have to manually fast forward 150 or like an hour and 15 minutes.
You can't do it like you used to be able to put like the 4 fast forwards in there.
Yeah.
Nope. You just have to hold it for legitimately.
You have to hold it down. Yeah, for like 5 minutes. What a piece of trash WWE Network is. Vader and Yokozuna have a bumping guts moment, but nothing really comes out of it.
I'm just watching it, and Flash Funk looks good. He does like a moonsault to the outside.
Yeah, they make him look great.
And Vader power bombs him. Then Yoko doesn't
tag. He just comes in.
Walks in and starts, and like the announcers call him. He attacks Vader, does an awful move, and is done.
That's it.
Done.
End of WWF career.
The guy, and the dude. So now what I notice is like he's gassed to the gills. He is sweating profusely, gassed. Yes. So then Savio is obviously gets pushed into the corner and it is supposed to tag, Yoko. Yoko does not tag out. And Flash Funk, he has to tag in Flash. And Savio clearly says something to Yoko, like, what the fuck? And Yoko is just, he doesn't come back in the rest of the match, I think.
Nope, not until the breakdown. But
just like, he's just leaning on the ropes the rest of it. This is his last WWF match.
Savio does some good stuff in the match. Fake Razor not only sucks as Fake Razor, but he also sucks at wrestling because he can't even do the Razor Ramon sack of shit move. Can barely pick him up for the sack of shit, which Cornette actually refers to as the SOS.
Which one is that one again?
Okay.
It's just a back. It's when he used to catch people like this and throw them over the top of his head.
Yeah.
He called that sack of shit apparently in the back. It's just a regular slam. But
all right. He does call it the SOS. You're right.
Yeah. So Cornette knows that.
Because then Jared's like, what is that?
Yeah.
Jared calls him on it.
What's that mean? Say shit on TV. God damn it. Farouk hits a killer spine buster on somebody. Superfly Snuka can barely move. Superfly Snuka looks like he needs to go into a nursing home. He can barely move. Fake Diesel takes out Savio Vega. Snuka eliminates Fake Razor, and then everyone has chairs. It's over. Ring, ring, ring the bell.
And Yoko is gas in the corner. And he had already taken off like a year or 6 months to try and lose weight and get healthy. Failed the exam.
Wow.
Finally got his physical pass. And then after this, they're just like, yeah, you need to go. You need to lose weight.
Drop more pounds. Yeah.
And he just never was able to come back.
Yeah. Well, thankfully that match ended in a schmoz. I was like, oh, good. This is just over, and I don't have to worry about watching this anymore. This is the worst match.
I didn't get why they ended it there, but I was okay with it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody argued.
Savio Vega and Funk. Flash Funk. Those two, they were the only people who did anything in the match.
Yeah, Flash Funk looked great.
He did. He's a good wrestler. Mm-hmm. There's a certain
he was my JOW top guy for a while.
Too Cold.
Too Cold, yeah.
Too Cold was a
Cornette. Cornette was saying that. Oh, we got to watch out for that guy.
Yeah, and he's a racist, so that's high praise right there. High praise from Cordy. Shawn. Final match was Shawn versus Psycho Sid, and Shawn has been through hell on and off TV. His last 3 matches were against Vader, Bulldog, and Mankind, and we know that Mankind Mind Games match was fucking nuts. Yeah. And Vader's super stiff. But mostly, the whole thing about this match is I'm just shocked that people like Psycho Sid. Because he's so different in today's times. He was very over in Madison Square Garden. People cheered. He gave a lot of fist bumps to the folks.
Who's the ruler?
They love
Who's the man?
Oh, that's who's the man?
Who can't cut a promo? Everyone laughs at Sid now, but he was legitimately over and champion. It's a really weird start of the match. Because Shawn Michaels is acting very bizarre.
Oh, Shawn has
Is Jose Lothario with him? His father figure, manager.
Now, was this actually like a father figure to him, or
I don't know if father figure's right, but trainer.
He was his actual trainer.
So they did have a long-standing relationship.
Yeah, they knew each other, and it was supposed to be like a babyface manager for him.
Okay.
Shawn hits a chop block on Sid, trying to chop the big man down. He's getting booed and acting like a heel, even though he's supposed to be the babyface. He does figure 4. He tries to work over Sid's legs. At one point, Sid goes in the corner and hits the cameraman. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Was that supposed to be foreshadowing for what happens later with all the cameras, or was that just a mistake?
I think it was.
Foreshadowing in WWF? It's insane. Michael's great moment for Sid, where Michael skins the cat and Psycho Sid just blasts him with a lariat, knocks him out of the ring. Love that. They get brawling in the aisle, and then I thought I saw Bill Apter in there, taking pictures. A young Bill Apter in the aisle, although he's never really looked young, but I thought he was out there. Michaels tries to do something off the top rope, but Sid catches him and gives him a backbreaker. Michaels keeps getting crushed, and he's not begging off, but he's on his knees, doing the whole let's keep going, keep hitting me. And then Michaels takes this bump behind me. He takes a big boot and lands and stops on his head.
Yeah.
Really stops and does like a headstand on
He
his
looks like
head.
he's breakdancing.
He looks insane. I was laughing so hard. I was like,
Best ever sell.
This meme is out there, and I'm like, oh, that's just blind luck that happened in this match.
That's the thing, man. People like Mick, Bret, and Shawn were all master sellers.
Yeah.
They could just
hilarious
sell their fucking ass off.
And if ever you're not sure, just remember the selling he did against Hogan.
Yeah, there you go.
Next level.
You want to put Ric Flair in there, master seller?
Rick is numero uno.
This is a Rick right here. If Rick could have stood on his head, he would have.
Yeah.
I mean, Shawn does the Ric Flair bump in the corner at one point during this match where he does the flip over thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, Ric Flair ripped him off of that years ago.
Yes, of course.
But Shawn does it all the time.
He went future and he went back to the future and stole the idea back to the past. Shawn Michaels, babyface, thumbs Psycho Sid in the eyes, gets choke slammed and power bombed, but then tries a small package, kicks out. Power slam for a 2 count on Shawn, but he kips up, and then Sid does the crushing lariat again. I like how Shawn's doing his like comeback moves, but just getting destroyed every time he gets back up. Sid, for some reason, goes and grabs a cameraman's camera and smashes Jose Lothario in the heart with
yes.
Not in the face, not in the back, in the heart. A direct heart shot. And he goes down. Shawn gets a super kick on Sid. He's going to win the match.
The sweet chin music.
Yes. Gets the sweet chin music, but realizes that Jose Lothario is dying outside because he's been hit in the heart with a camera. So he goes down and calls for help. And the call for help never arrives. Nobody comes to help this dying man. So while he's down playing fake heart attack, Michaels goes back in the ring and hits a crossbody on the ref, knocking him out. And then Sid hits his powerbomb for the win. I think he hits him with the camera too, right?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Michaels
with the camera, then powerbombs him, gets the win. Sid is now the champion. Almost immediately after being pinned, Shawn Michaels is up and outside checking on Jose Lothario as if a no-sell happened.
He's very noble.
And finally, paramedics decide now's a great time. We're going to come out and check on this man who's almost dead. And Sid is champion. And then the final line of Vince McMahon is, anything can happen. Sid can be the champion. I think Sid carries it to Royal Rumble 97, and that's when Shawn beats him for it. And then Shawn loses his smile and gives up the title. I'm pretty sure that's the end of the story.
Well, so when does Bret get the title back then?
He gets it back that summer. He beats Undertaker for it at SummerSlam.
All right, because then he loses it to Shawn in the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah. So he doesn't get it back till SummerSlam, and then he loses it the next year by getting screwed.
Yeah.
So yeah, crazy announcer voice. It's so weird.
It is just he is so so bad.
One of the worst announcers I've ever.
Yeah,
now that I've seen it,
still can't hear it.
The sweet chin music comes through a little more.
Yeah.
It's just just the absolute worst.
Is he talking about mirrors?
Just the worst.
Sucked at announcing. Boy, was he bad. But there was such a for the longest time, I had such a nostalgia of Vince announcer. Yeah. I don't know why. Just there's nothing else in my mind. I don't know, but I was I miss Vince announcer.
Was he better though when it was him and Jesse in the late 80s?
I remember Don Callis saying that his favorite announce team ever was Vince and Jesse because they had such good chemistry with each other of McMahon and all that stuff, talking shit to each other, that it was just so much fun. But not technically, but I don't remember him being that over the top in the 80s.
Yeah.
I guess he probably was. All right, that's it. Wally, are you going to pick the next episode, or do you have something in mind?
I've got something in mind.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
We're going to watch Conan the Destroyer from 1984.
Ooh.
Is this Conan, like the Barbarian Conan?
Yes.
Is this the first or the second?
Arnold Schwarzenegger. I believe it's the second.
Yes, it is.
The second. Okay. Where is this available to us?
On Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got Andre the Giant in it.
Yeah.
Conan the Destroyer, you said?
Yep, the Destroyer.
Conan the Destroyer with
The
Andre
first
the
was
Giant.
Conan the Barbarian, and that had James Earl Jones and Wilt Chamberlain. And this one's got
also has Wilt Chamberlain.
Oh, maybe this is the one with Wilt then.
Okay. That'll be fun. I've never seen the Conan movies, I don't think.
I've seen the Barbarian. I don't think I've seen the Destroyer.
I've never seen any of them.
It's not him that fights Medusa. That's a different movie, isn't it?
That's Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, I've seen
Harry
that.
Hamlin.
Seen that, but I haven't seen
I've been told to see that movie, but I have not.
The old Clash of the Titans?
Like the one from like 81 or whatever?
Yeah.
It's not that good.
I've seen that movie, but I don't remember anything.
Barbarian was first, and then the Destroyer is the sequel.
Okay.
Good. Jumping right in with the sequel. Usually a good idea.
Skip over the first one. You don't need any of that information?
Probably not.
Probably not. We're just here for Andre the Giant, and we're getting out. Although technically, any Arnold Schwarzenegger movie would count as a wrestling movie because he's been a multiple-time wrestling participant, and I think he's a Hall of Famer. So, food for thought there. You can pick Arnold movies.
Okay, good to know.
I see your wheel spinning, Bill. That scares me.
I'm just thinking of all the great movies that Shaq's been in.
Kindergarten Cop.
Shaq. We're halfway through Shaq's catalog, and we've only done 2 movies.
We got Real Steel or whatever that one was called.
Yeah, Steel. Oh, boy. All right, that's it.
Oh, I know what I'm picking next week.
Oh, no. Is it Shaq?
I don't think so. No, not Shaq.
Is it Arnold?
No.
Is it Kurgan?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll figure it out. All right, that's it. Peace out.
Yeah.